Greetings, YouTube. I believe that the True Negro Bedwench are actually, the Black Patriarchs of YouTube. Stay with me, okay? You see, I find whenever I go on my feeds, every time I log in, for some strange reason, I keep finding Crystal and Karazine's videos or videos about Crystal and Karazine in my feeds. And on this particular account that I use as Garage Autonomist, and it's the only one that I use now, because I actually killed all accounts that I've had prior to creating this channel months ago. But for some reason, Crystal and Karazine's videos or videos about Crystal and Karazine come up in my feeds. Now, I specifically want to target and talk about the videos that are about her. Now, in case you don't know who she is, Crystal and Karazine is a writer. She's an author. She's also a YouTuber as well, and uses other forms of social media. Basically, all she really is just a relationship coach. But in her situation, she's more of her marketing rather is more focused on African American women, and the main message of her, the main message towards her targeted audience is that African American women should have options in terms of dating if they are serious about getting married and moving on. And her thing is to specifically say that, the whole point here is that your options should be interracial dating. In other words, if the men in your life, who've mostly been African American men, but they just simply were bad choices of African American men, and I don't want to put words in her mouth either, but for the most part, that is what she wants. She wants African American women to date men outside of their ethnic group in order to broaden their choices and mates, which is fair enough in my opinion. Where Crystalline often gets into controversy, I think, is how it can be interpreted. That, in other words, men, and particularly white men of means, are the better choice, or just simply the better men. I think that's how a lot of people have perceived for her to say, and quite frankly, who knows, maybe she is really saying that. I do say that on face value, any woman of any group, of any ethnic group, should date whoever they want. And if the people within your immediate area or community is just simply not cutting it for you, then yeah, you probably should go outside and look at other people. It's just your right as a human being. So on that level, I don't have a problem with her. The videos about her are really stuck on just the race, or quote unquote what's called swirling. And part of it is an assumption that yes, she hates black males in particular. The videos about her are always these same, the quote unquote pro-black, black male patriarchs, or the non-pro-black patriarchs, like the general right now of the YouTube Uncle Tom's, Mr. David Carroll, who apparently had a huge and dramatic feud with her, not only a year ago, but it seems to be still going on. He can't seem to shut up about her. I mean, others, Sergeant Willie Pete, he can't seem to shut up about her. Sometimes I listen to SWP's videos about Crystal and Karazine. I remember the ones I was listening to that, again, were a year old. And some of them as recent as April of last year. And I mean, there's times when he brought up her daughter for some reason that really was kind of fucking creepy. I think deep down these dudes are mad, because in a lot of ways, here's the deal about the Black Patriarchs. I call them that, although they're not real patriarchs in the meatverse at all. They have no power. They have no platform. I'm not saying this to mock them. It really is the truth. At least SWP, Sergeant Willie Pete, will come out and he actually knows it and admits it. And until these dudes actually get their shit together and actually build something based on the values that they want, because their values are not my values, then they would at least have something to stand on and say. But anyway, going forward, they don't have that. They don't have the one thing and the only thing that they unimaginatively cling to, which is the white supremacist structure and white patriarchy. So what they want to do, if they can't recreate it and can't get it together to recreate it, right? And no one's giving it to them so that they can at least start off and create it, right? If none of that is happening, then the only thing they've got left or to see where women out of our community who might do this by quote unquote marrying up to a white male patriarch with money, right, and power, they see them being able to do it, which is something that the black males can't do. We all know why. We have no vaginas. So this kind of pisses these dudes off to no end. Honestly, they're mad about the race part, but I think it's really more about the money and resources part that they're really pissed about. Because that is the one thing that I disagree with Crystalline Karazine, very much is, she's not, on one end, you're hoping that the women who are taking her advice are looking for love, not necessarily looking for a lifestyle. An upgrade of a lifestyle. That's the one thing that I have an issue with, because of my values. I value human beings strictly based on our humanitarianism, on our humanitarianism, and therefore capitalism being the antithesis of humanism, of humanity, really. I don't value what capitalism has to offer, and I don't value how capitalism values people. So therefore, I reject that. And so the idea of valuing a man based on what he can do for you as a woman, I shouldn't really leave this up to just heterosexual relationships, but you get what I'm saying. If you are on the lower or disadvantaged level based on economics, or because of your gender, because of power in economics, or because of your race, because of color, because of now race and economics. If you're on the lower step there and you're actually looking to get with someone who's on the upper step strictly because of that, then yeah, that's a problem. And not only are you dehumanizing yourself, because what are you really selling here other than your looks, or that somebody might look at you and exoticize you because of your color, but I think also because you're dehumanizing that person by saying, well, basically you can do stuff for me and therefore that's your value to me. I have a problem with that. So that's the one thing that I have an issue with Crystalline Karazine. I did see one video of hers, but this was again years ago, and not years ago, maybe a year ago, and it was under it was under the account that I killed. But yeah, she literally took a video camera of showing her, this middle, random ass cookie cutter, middle class suburban neighborhood and its park. And she was really happy about that. If I were her husband, I'd be a little insulted, to be honest with you. It's like, holy shit. And not only that, it's like you're kind of insulting me in a way, because it seems like I actually want to pick a childlike woman who's squealing at the fact that she's just not in some, rat infested park in the neighborhood that she grew up in. It's one thing to be happy that you've made an upgrade like that in terms of not having to live in a neighborhood like that and live in squalor. But if you did it on your own merit, not simply because you did it through me, like what the fuck? Anyway, so But anyway, but going back to the hostility aimed at her by the Black Patriarchs, I think it's because they're just mad because there's no vag. They own no vag in order to make such an exchange for themselves. So on one end, it's like, I want what the white patriarch has, but I can't build it, and no one gave it to us. And sure, I mean, as an individual, I can gain certain economic, I can gain some of these resources, but there's, that's just me as an individual. That's not a power base for my entire community. So I can't make such a leap like that, and I would have to do all the work to do it anyway. But meanwhile, these chicks can just, if they look good enough and charming enough or whatever, and they go to the Crystal and Karazhan School of Charm, well, they can just go ahead and get these resources like that because they got the vag. That pisses me off. That's why they hate her so much. So that's all I have to say. I think that these dudes deep down want to be the bedwenches. They're just mad. They can't, they have nothing to build on. And that's the other thing. What's this new fascination? Now I'm kind of going off a tangent, but it's kind of related. What is this new fascination with Black Wall Street? Now, we all know the tragedy of Black Wall Street, but you know what, guys? Black Wall Street did not end because it was killed by it was not killed by integration. It was not killed by the civil rights movement. It was killed by white racists. So if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at the racist crackers that went out and massacred a bunch of African Americans in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and therefore killing the economic base of that area. But don't sit up just like, and if you want to recreate that, then I guess you really need to do is go ahead and recreate it, right? Come on, prove us wrong. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Bye. This is the Garage Autonomist.